All right, guys and gals, here we are. Today's project, 1982 GMC Square. This peach here is my oldest daughter's truck, okay? It is a standard cab, long bed. We've got a ton of parts in it. We got a ton of work to do, but today, we're gonna have her come in here, give us a hand and get this hood off. We're gonna have a little fun. We're gonna do a Patina paint job on this guy. All right, so we want to try it out. We're going to get this hood off, get it in the shop. We'll show you what we got going on. Grab it side, right? Over here. Get this in the shop, get set up, get going on today's project. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We got our 82 GMC hood in the shop. This already looks like it has one or two paint jobs on it. We picked this up at a swap meet. Yeah, these square bodies are becoming so popular, it's hard to go to our local salvage yards and find parts for them, you know. So we like going on adventures, so we went to swap meet, found this, picked it up for a good deal. Where Randy sold, apparently. So we're going to get our stripper wheel out. We're going to start stripping this thing down. And we'll get you cut back home and get that process started. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We got our drum sander from the Eastwood Company. We got a stripper wheel on here. Okay. If you see my other video, you'll see this company offers this stripper here, but it comes with a lot of different wheels. So make sure you got the right wheel for your project. Now, I got my safety glasses because remember, guys, safety first. Thing, watch out. Come on. Get your ball. All right. There we go. There we go. We're going to start stripping this. All right, now you guys and gals can see how quickly that removes the layers. Look how many layers of paint are on this hood. We got some black primer, some gray primer, some white, blue, another color blue. Boy, if this hood had a story, it could really tell it. So what we're going to do, we're going to get you set up here. We're going to get this whole thing stripped down before we start our process of Patina. All right, guys and gals, as you can see, look how many layers were on this thing. I mean to tell you, she's thick on there. Wow. About got this side all stripped down. A little residual paint left there we'll go back and get. And that top piece there, okay? We probably got about, how long have we got in this? Half an hour in stripping this. So we've got about, say, another half hour. So in an hour's time, you get 30 plus years of paint off this guy. We'll get this done and set you back up for the fun stuff, the next step. Click you back on in a second. All right, guys and gals. I'd say, how long are we sanding this hood?
Probably an hour and a half.
Okay, I got a half hour in it. She's got an hour in sanding this whole hood down. So this is what we got. So you guys don't get angry with me. This hood is beat up, okay? Which is great for what we're going to do. Okay, it looks like it lived in the hail damage area. It's definitely taken some abuse over the years. So look at this, okay? This is just what we got. Okay, and this is one of them ginormous, this is a sweeper broom. That's one of them ginormous dustpans. Look at that. That's how much paint was on that thing. We're making this truck faster just by making it lighter, all right? So we're going to get this set up. We're going to put this in epoxy primer next. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We got our wax and grease remover. Now, don't forget to do this step. Any kind of paint you're doing, do the prep work just to make sure that your surface is fully clean so that you have all the adhesion you could possibly get. Here's a little tip for you, okay? A lot of guys, they'll put this rag on here and dump the thing out. Well, that's, you know, fine and dandy if you got a clean rag all the time, but we ain't got that luxury around here. So we got one. We're just going to pour some on the rag itself out of the container. That saves you from washing back in your container and contaminating your wax and grease remover. So we're going to get this wiped off, let that dry good, then we're going to put our epoxy primer on. We'll cut you back on when we get to that stage. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We got our shop line, 2-part epoxy primer. It's 2-to-1 mix. We're going to get this sprayed on here so we get our first step done. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We're with our 82 GMC truck. We got our first layer of epoxy primer down. We're going to let this flash off, come back, and we're going to hit it with... All right, guys and gals, here we are. Back on our 82 GMC project. Patina day. Got our white epoxy primer down. Got our first 2 layers of white base down. Got us some fancy dancy pinstripes going on. And we're going to name this guy. My oldest named this, so and don't ask me, y'all. There you go. Randy! That's right. Randy. The 82 GMC. Welcome, Randy. Now we got our next color mixed up. Molly's also picked this out, so let's see what you guys think. 18-year-old girl, y'all. This is what she picked. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We got our two coats on of our second base colors. Now what we're going to do, we're going to come in here and take these stripes off. See what happens when we do this. There's another little tip for you. If you're doing multiple lines and stuff, take a piece of masking tape, take the end of it. It just helps a lot easier to get them pulled off. And I like to pull mine together just because it's fun. And there you go. Our base white is underneath our stripe. We're going to go ahead and get the rest of this removed, let this dry real good, and then we'll start our fun process of Patina in this thing. All right, we'll kick you back on when we're ready. There we go, guys and gals. Randy's official. Let's take a walk around this thing so you can see. Now you will notice, like I said, this hood has some irregularities in it. We'll just call them dents, whatever you refer to them as. But look at the stripes on this thing. Wow. We're going to let this dry real good. We're going to come back. We're going to start having fun with old Mr. Randy. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, here we go. Back on Randall. This is what we got. All right. Brand new paint. We got 400 purple pads, and we got 1,000 purple pads. And we're going to tear this beautiful paint up and get us our patina look we were after. So let's get set up here. We're going to use this, some hand blocks, some DA, a little bit of water for lubrication. We're going to get this guy looking good. Click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We got our block, our 400 grit, our water for lubrication. We're going to get this edge sanded till we start seeing the bottom base pop through. Yeah, and there's no rules to this, so you just do it to your liking. But we'll show you here what it's going to look like. See, you'll start to get that faded, worn look you're going to have to pay attention, think you're the sunshine, see where this is going to be coming down on here. You're going to want to concentrate on your edges. And you can see the paint, as we're sanding it off, it's exposing the bottom surface. So you're going to give this a little sand here until you like it. We're going to go around this whole hood until we get the desired effect that we're after. And then we're going to move on to our next step. We're just going to sand some of this here. Squeegee that off. Yeah, there's another little trick. Take your squeegee here, and that'll show you kind of what your panel's going to look like when you clean it all off. Check that out. Is that cool or what? All right, we're going to get the rest of this going. We'll cut you back on when we get her done. All right, guys and gals, here we are. We're back on the 82 GMC. Randall. No, just kidding. Randy. So what we got here, we got our soap and water solution. We got our dual action sander. Sorry about that, I sprayed myself in the face. We're going to get this sanded down here until we start seeing the pattern and textures that we want. Got this on the lowest setting. Now be mindful, this is fresh. This is all fresh paint. So we're just trying to make this little look here where it looks like it's weathered, sun-beaten, all that goodness. I got my interface pad in here, so I got a little cushion. It's a 400. And that's it. We're going to stop with that. Wipe it down once, bud. Let's see what we got. So there you go. You can start to see what that does. That fades that paint out like it's been sitting outside in the sun being baked for the last 30 years. So we're going to keep going here. We'll get this cleaned off. We'll get it to the desired effect we want, and then we'll move on to our next step. Add a little detail. Look at that dent pop. That's nice. Authentic. We'll click it back on when we get there. All right. We'll get our accent color going on. We're going to put a little highlights in here, a little low lights. Going to make this thing really pop. Give it some dimension. And we're going to get it busted down in 3 layers of clear. Now you might be surprised what we pick for clear. We're going to feather that edge a little more. Get it to the way we want it. We'll show you before we get to our next step. Boom chicken. All right, guys and gals, here we go. We got our airbrush loaded up with our custom mix. Okay, I'll be honest with you. We just went around the shop and found whatever we could that would make brown. All right, so this is what we come up with. So what we're going to do in these areas we sanded through here, we're going to highlight that because that would most likely be where the truck would be rusted. Okay. Now we are going to come back in here and we're going to lighten this out with 1000 grit sandpaper. So we're just going to hit a couple areas. We're going to pretty much saturate this thing. Now remember, your airbrush is a lot lighter paint stream, so it's not going to be as thick. So you can go ahead and put some on there. That way you get the desired effect you want by sanding it and not just depending on your airbrush to give you the look you want. So we're going to get this going. And we'll cut you back on when we got her all done. All right, guys and gals, the fun part. We got our water, a little bit of soap. We got our 400. This is actually a flex block. I'm going to use that on these edges. I kind of started here a little bit. I got excited. I couldn't wait for it. But we're back now together. So let's do this together. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the hood plenty wet. And I'm just going to sand it until I get the desired effect that I'm after. And as you can see, it don't take a whole lot. That material just starts working away. Now, I will tell you, with this 400, you want to be careful as the direction that you're traveling because you don't want to just keep going across the hood because what we're going to do next, we're going to come back in with our 1000 and get rid of all the sand scratches so this looks more natural. So we're going to go ahead and keep going on this hood. And once we get this sanded down to the desired look we want, we're going to get this guy ready for clear. All right, Randy. You're looking pretty shabby. I think it looks pretty good. We'll click you back on when we're ready. All right, guys and gals, here we are. Back with the 82 GMC. Randy! All right, you can see we got our Patina paint job going on. Patina. Patina. We're going to call this Glam Tina. All right. So we wanted to fade it back so it looked like the truck was parked with the cab facing away from the sun and faded out the hood all along our edges here. Darkened it up as the sun would beat down on it. We're going to get this guy ready and we're going to put 3 nice layers of clear on it. Well, we're not going to show you the thing until we're done with it. So you're going to have to stick around to see the end result. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised when we get done with it. All right, guys and gals. We got our 4-to-1 clear mixed up. We're going to start laying this down. Get this project wrapped up. All right, guys and gals. Here we are with our finished product. What do you think, bud?
I like it.
You like it?
Yep.
That's good because we cleared it in. So what we got going on here, we got our Faux Tina. No, scratch that. Glam Faux Tina. This stuff is glamorous looking. Look at this. Let me get you in here on these details. We sanded through till we got to the desired look we wanted. We came back, highlighted it with our brown, a couple different shades, put some black in there, sanded that down with 400, smoothed all our sand marks out with 1000, went over it with a gray Scotch-Brite just to blend everything in, and now we got Randy. He's a cowboy if you weren't too sure. See, he got him a fancy white hat. All right. Well, here we go. Look, we even distressed the stripes that we put on there. All right, guys and gals. You know why we do it. For the love of hot rods and horsepower. What we tell them?
Go get yourself a project and enjoy it.
And we'll catch you on the next one.